described a certain young woman in your classroom with a pile of tissues and sniffling all the time.
The girl with the eternal cold?
Yes.
Whom I compared Andrew Dworkin to?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm wondering with what you see in young men, in your classes now, or what you observed as like a very high suicide rate, rates of like drug abuse, and what do you see out of men today, young men today?
Well, of course, I'm teaching at an art school, so I think that it's not really the students that I get are not necessarily typical of what's going on in the general culture. That is, the students have to be admitted to the University of the Arts. They have to have a proficiency in whatever they want to study. So right from the start, when the students arrive as freshmen, they already have a direction. They already have a kind of sense of identity, in themselves. So I think that I might not be getting people who are lost or searching, who other professors might be seeing in the classroom. But there's absolutely no doubt that with all this talk about women not having rights and this and that and this and that, men are being neglected. Okay, I mean, and the environment in the public school system, that as I have observed it, for young men, is horrible. Okay, it's an all-female environment. The men that teach in it they've all collapsed. In the face of of the social welfare ideology. Right, all that anyone cares about in the public schools now is like no bullying. Okay, we must treat everyone nice. Okay, because this is the vision that they have in the public schools now. Okay, sort of like if you just be nice, people will be nice back to you, and that really is the answer to world peace. Okay, all right, we have to be very nice. Okay, try that with the Nazi stormtroopers. That's really going to work. Okay. With them, right? They have no. The young people are being given a very censored vision of history, okay, where all the atrocities and barbarities of world history, the rise and fall of empires, it's all concealed from them. Okay, right? Everything's about the present, okay, and adapting them to the present. Right? So the environment is absolutely imprisoning for young men. Okay, young men who have a lot of energy. Okay, all right, their natural energy is being constrained in the classroom for the efficiency of this mechanism. It's one thing if they're learning something, but they aren't. Okay, so I really want, I want people to be thinking much more about vocational training, vocational classes where people are doing things, getting out of those prison cells of the classroom. All right, because throughout history, young men have been, at the age of 11 or 12, young men in the great age of sailing ships were off, they were always off on the ship. So you could do all kinds of things. You would apprentice to your father. You'd be doing things by the time you're a teenager. Now we keep everybody like in this. If you're going to be coming from a bourgeois professional family, you have to like go into get into a good school and march along in these like little prison cells and so on. All right. So no wonder everyone's neurotic. Okay. Why people are doping themselves? Half the professional classes on meds. And so on. Poisons. Made in China. Okay. All contaminated with lead. No. Okay. New York. No. Okay. Please pass the word. Okay. No. I always say drink beer, wine. That's why the ancient beverages and so on. All right. So and feminism isn't helping. Okay. When maybe it was I don't know how many years ago was it at this point? Maybe 5 years ago now. When I went to I go periodically to the Yale Political Union. At Yale, it's a student-run debate society. Okay, and there's a dinner ahead of you meet with the members of the union ahead of time. And I was quizzing some of the young men there. They were talking about the way the moment they arrive in September, they have to go to these training sessions at Yale. Okay, about how they should behave on a date. I said this is outrageous. I said you're accepting this? Well, it's the norm. And I go and I looked at these young men, and they were handsome and they were smart. But they were neutered. They had been neutered. That's how they got into Yale. Okay, they'd all been ground down. Okay, into the image of what women thought men should be. Okay, they had nothing left. They were like clones. Okay, and so on. Right. And I saw fight back. What did you fight back against this? Well, they saw they couldn't even imagine. Okay, challenging that to be lectured to. Okay, by a bunch of nanny administrators about how they're supposed to behave on a date. It's an insult. There should be a rebellion against this. Okay, the administrators are the enemy. Okay, the administrators have cancerous growth. Okay, everywhere. overpaid administrators. Okay? This is one of the big issues in my book, okay? The way they have robbed, okay, the faculty of authority, okay, of the historic authority, and the way the faculty just stood there, just stood there and took it, okay? My first job when I arrived at Bennington College, okay, there was a new woman president came in, a young woman from Harvard, okay, came in. It was like the last gasp of 60s youth cult to give this 29-year-old woman the presidency of Bennington, and her husband. They were like so hip, okay, have a co-president, with the husband, and so on. Well, after a few years, we had an uprising, okay, when the trustees started, doing things that we felt was an incursion on faculty power, and the faculty rebelled against the administrators. All right, I mean, it's almost inconceivable today to imagine the inert faculties doing anything to stand up against the administrators. All right, and it was like a big deal, and it was reported in the media. And Nora Ephron went up there, did a whole story on it for Esquire magazine, the Bennington uprising. And what happened? And the reason that we did it was because we had one of the veterans of the Columbia Radicals. Actually, was a friend of mine there at at Bennington, and he was one of the leaders of the rebellion. Remember, there's a student uprising. Well, you don't remember, you're too young. But in 1968, I believe it was. 68, okay, and where they invaded the president's office, and you have one of them, David Shapiro, smoking a cigar with dark glasses, at the president's desk, and so on and so forth. Why hasn't that happened? Okay, the student debt thing. Okay, why hasn't the left, okay, done some action, okay, against the universities? Okay, instead they just go on. They let Yale and Harvard sit on these endowments, these obscene endowments. Okay, meanwhile they're not paying city taxes, okay, in New Haven. All right, it's absolutely just revolting. Okay, so the leftists are all focusing their attention elsewhere. Okay, but they don't want to make their nice nest. Okay, in any way unstable. Okay, they want to keep the income stream, etc. All right, but anyway, back to the book. So here's my point. Okay, all right, today this whole college track thing, okay, for imposed on everyone now in the public school system is terrible for boys. Okay, and I think the more that the schools can adjust and have apprentice systems, the way Germany does, okay, where you have these kind of collaboration with businesses, where the businesses realize they need trained workers, and you start getting an overlap where kids are leaving the school and going to the actual work site, learning a skill, learning a trade, and can support themselves. For years now, people have said, the liberal arts should not be about, college should not be about job, preparing you for a job. Oh, how low. What? How low? Okay, we want people to be able to survive in life instead of graduating with a shiny Harvard degree and working at Starbucks. Okay, flipping burgers at McDonald's. That's all they're. Just drop you into a job market. This is ridiculous. It's not as if the quality of the liberal arts education they got is worth anything either. Okay, they know nothing about anything except Foucault. Okay, so that's all they know. I just love it. Just keep beating his skinny haunches. All right. Anyway.